On Sunday, January 7th, several hundred eager Anmore residents came out to witness the ribbon-cutting ceremony for their new community hub. For over the past decade, village council members and staff had been working out of portable trailers. The Murray house in which they had previously served was condemned in 2012, and despite public interest in saving the structure, it was deemed to be unsalvageable. While the ribbon cutting did not go quite as smoothly as anticipated, much like the Community Hub project itself, the mayor and council were persistent and got the job done.
Everybody, welcome to your new municipal hall. Come on in.
After the brief ribbon-cutting ceremony, the residents filed into their new $8.5 million, 16,000 square foot facility, where they had an opportunity to hear once again from Mayor McEwen.
I'd like to start off by thanking you all for joining me today as we celebrate the grand opening of the Anmore Community Hub, the village's first purpose-built municipal building. The Village of Anmore would like to open our event by recognizing the many Indigenous peoples of our area, including the following First Nations, with communities that are located in the region that we now know as Metro Vancouver: the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Coquitlam. Further, we'd like to honor the important place in history occupied by the many territorial keepers of these lands and waters around us since time immemorial. I'm also here pleased to introduce my fellow members of council who are hosting the event with me today. Councillor Polly Cryer, Councillor Doug Richardson, Councillor Paul Webber, Councillor Kim Trowbridge, and former Councillor Tim Latham. Today's grand opening is the culmination of years of planning and a concerted effort to ensure we could build this amazing new facility while respecting the budget and commitments we made to our community. As many of you know, the journey towards today's openings involved a few failed attempts and also several moves at the Village Hall. Commencing with incorporation in '87, and thanks to the Smurthwaite family, we moved into the Murray house, which was slated for demolition after purchasing the land at Saturn. When I was first elected to council, Anmore Council in 2008, one of our first finance meetings with the new council was held in the former living room. At that moment, we quickly realized the need for a new village hall, and a saving plan was then developed. In the interim, this former family home continued to serve as our village hall until ongoing structural issues, lack of space for council meetings and record storage, and other issues required a move to ACO trailers in 2012. These trailers were always a temporary measure, but we continued to use them for our village hall until we addressed the village's $9 million infrastructure deficit. Next, we worked to set aside funds to construct a new building that would serve our community for the next 50+ years. We knew we absolutely needed a building for our village hall. This included requirements for sufficient workspaces for staff and for our council chambers that could accommodate more people comfortably, rather than disrupting programming and relying on the elementary school. We also needed upgrades to technology to allow us to live stream meetings with improved quality sound and video. We required space for properly storing our record archives, which you'll see when you go tour down below in the basement, and the site for our emergency operations center to support our community in the event of an emergency. But we also saw an opportunity to bring our community together by building a facility where we can work, gather, and celebrate. We wanted to offer our community a facility that can be used for indoor events and activities, along with easy accessible washrooms for when they're hosting events at Spirit Park. A broader community facility approach would also provide us with potential space for a coffee shop or other commercial ventures. With this vision, the Anmore Community Hub concept was developed with input from the community on the design and amenity spaces. We then looked for opportunities to leverage grants, and were fortunate enough to benefit from a $2.5 million investing in infrastructure grant from the federal and provincial governments. When we started seeing unprecedented costs increase in the construction market, we pivoted quickly and made changes to modify the design to reduce the cost of the building construction without compromising the functionality. And those cuts were in the millions of dollars. We also shifted to an integrated project delivery model, which involved a commitment from the entire project team to deliver the project on the agreed upon construction budget of $8.5 million for the modified design of the building. I'm so proud to share with our community today that we stuck to our commitment and built this amazing new facility on budget. That's a tremendous accomplishment in today's construction market. My congratulations go to the project team for the excellent job they have done for our community. What an incredible achievement to be able to bring this in on budget. We also continue to apply for grants, and we awarded funding that contributed to the Emergency Operations Center capacity in the hub for another $375,000 grant to make the improvements also to Spirit Park. The work currently underway at Spirit Park involves critical upgrades to infrastructure, including pathways, ground condition improvements to increase accessibility, a new septic field. The next phases will also involve the park plan for the entire site, including the area around the hub, and we look forward to talking to the community about what the plan will look like, as well as extending Ravenswood Road straight out to Sunnyside. As you will see when you tour the building, there are plans for future enhancements to this hub as well, when financing becomes available, such as a room divider for the main community room. You'll notice there's a header up there, that's for a divider, so that we can actually separate and have two different groups using the space at the same time, as well as other outfitting for downstairs community room for groups and events. Future improvements are also planned for the lower level, including leasing out the commercial space, which is roughed in all electrical and plumbing that can be customized as needed for possibly a bakery or coffee shop. And of course, there'll be opportunities for renting some of these spaces for other events and activities. We still need to develop the policies and procedures required when renting out a facility before we can open the doors for public use. But this will be a priority in the coming months. It's definitely an exciting time for our community. I think we're doing fairly well for all fitting on here for this period of time. This has truly been a collaborative project with many individuals and organizations contributing to today's grand opening of this beautiful new building in our community. There are many people I'd like to recognize for their contributions, so I ask that you hang in there for me because it's a very, very important list. I would first like to recognize and thank the federal and provincial governments for the $2.5 million invested in infrastructure grant and other funding contributions for this project. Today, the ministries responsible for investing in infrastructure grants are led by the Honourable Sean Fraser, Canada's Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, and the Honourable Anne Kang, BC Minister of Municipal Affairs. Unfortunately, they were not able to attend today's event. I would particularly like to thank the individuals who are directly involved in the grant application at this time, either in their former ministerial roles or as representatives for the area. These individuals were champions for Anmore and were instrumental in us being awarded the Investing in Infrastructure grant. Please join me in thanking the Honourable Dominic LeBlanc, the Minister of Public Safety, Democratic Institutions and Intergovernmental Affairs, the Honourable Nathan Cullen, former Minister of Municipal Affairs and now BC Minister of Water, Lands and Resource Stewardship, and the Honourable Selina Robbins, former Finance Minister and now BC Minister of Post-Secondary Education and Future Skills. Selina actually asked me to share this message with you today. Congratulations to all of Anmore on your new village hub. I recall when Mayor John McEwen first shared this vision with me. It made so much sense and I was happy to support the vision. I'm so pleased that this community hub has come to fruition. Congratulations to everyone who made it happen, and I'm sorry I'm not able to be there to celebrate, but I'm there in spirit. I'd also like to introduce some of the special guests joining us for today's celebration. Ron McKinnon, I believe, is here somewhere, a member of Parliament for Port Coquitlam, who was an advocate for our community and instrumental in helping us receive the $2.5 million infrastructure grant. Ellie Shin, who was our area's member of Parliament during the critical planning stages and grant application process. And I'd also like to recognize Belfair Mayor Jamie Ross, who I saw earlier. I believe Port Moody Mayor Megan Latte is here. Benita Zerillo, MP for Port Moody, Coquitlam, Anmore, and Belfair is here. And Richard Stewart, I believe is here. There he is, the Mayor of Coquitlam. Thank you, Richard. And Finn Donnelly, the MLA for Coquitlam Mountain, is here. And Rick Lumack from our local MLA. And my big thanks, and I think all of us should be thanking the work that Councillor Tim Trowbridge did, who shared his expertise in helping guide this project. He spent many, many thousands of hours in this thing, making sure that we were following through and keeping it on track and on budget. And I want to recognize our village staff who have been working on this project alongside all of their own responsibilities. I would especially like to thank Karen Elric, our Chief Administrative Officer, and Chris Boyd, our Manager of Development Services, for their ongoing work on this project. And Sabina Parent, who has been the lead for the groundbreaking and grand opening events, as well as overseeing the logistics of getting us moved into the new hub. I also want to thank our former CAO, Julie Halliwell, who was part of the initial planning and implementation of the hub design, construction, planning, and measures to manage the budget. And a big thank you goes out to our integrated project delivery team, ISL Engineering, Edit Studios design team led by Tula Teodoskis, Jacob Brothers Construction, and their amazing site team led by Nick Shergill, Preet Gill, and Adam Bailey. You did amazing work. I'd like to also throw the Cron Group of companies for their design and overseeing, and Art Projects Limited. And last but definitely not least, on behalf of Anmore Council and staff, thank you, Anmore residents, for joining us today in the celebration and for your support in bringing this project to fruition. I, like most people, have been so excited about this facility coming to fruition, and I want to share with you that all this excitement transcends throughout the village. One example is when I received a call this fall from one of our consummate volunteers, Nancy Knauer, who is here somewhere, who heads up our garden committee. Nancy reached out to me as she was making plans for a trip to Europe and said, when will it be open? And saying, I wouldn't miss it, and I need to make sure that I'm back in time. You're here. Well, Nancy, due to some unforeseen delays, you can spend more time in Europe. But we're so happy that you're here celebrating with us today. It's truly a great, great day to gather together and commemorate the tremendous milestone for our community.
After an obligatory but brief cake-cutting ceremony, those in attendance were free to roam about the building and see what they got for their hard-earned tax dollars.